Everybody, this is Joseph P. Farrell. This is actually take 3 of News and Views from the Nefarium on Thursday, March 14th, 2013. The reason why is I'm having, at the same time, internet problems plus computer problems. I think my computer, like all computers designed to run micro crap products, is on its last legs. If I ever get enough money, I'm buying an Apple. Okay, so this is actually, like I said, my third attempt, but I wanted to talk about 2 articles. I'm tempted to talk about the Pope. But quite frankly, after yesterday, so many of you wanted me to talk about the Pope. Daniel and I actually did record a members video in the subscribers area on the website about my initial reactions to the election of Jorge Cardinal Bergoglio of Argentina. So those are on record. As more information comes out about this individual, I'm sure that we will be talking a little bit more about his election. All right. But there is other news this month, significant news, articles that you have sent me, 2 of them that I want to comment on, and I want to thank you all again for sending so much information to me. It's to the point now that I spend most of my time actually reading what you guys send me rather than looking for things on my own. But these are right up my alley, and I want to thank particularly Alessandro, who sent me the second article that we're going to be talking about. Now, these 2 articles, before I get started, part of my analysis is going to be based upon seeing these 2 articles as related. All right, and you'll see why they're related, I'm sure, once we get started talking about them. The first article appeared on the 11th of this month, 11th of March 2013, and it is from an official South African government website. Pardon me. The article is entitled, South Africa Sets Up BRICs Think Tank. Now, I want to read 3 short paragraphs here in this article because these paragraphs are significant clues to a big geopolitical shakeup, a long-term geopolitical shakeup that I think is going to occur over the next 20 to 30 years. Listen carefully what this article says. Quote, South Africa will be hosting the 5th summit of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So we might as well call them the BRICS nations now. A group of influential emerging countries in Durban from the 25th to the 27th of March. In other words, the official summit is coming up with these nations at the end of this month, and it will be held in Durban, South Africa. Officials from the 5 countries met in Durban over the weekend for a workshop aimed at mapping a long-term strategy for a mooted consortium of BRICS think tanks. The meeting was co-chaired by HSRC Chief Executive Dr. Olive Shisana and Dr. Diane Parker of the Department of Higher Education. South Africa is the latest member to join BRICS and is the only one among member countries that did not have a dedicated think tank until now, Shisana said in a statement last week, unquote. Now, folks, this is hugely significant because South Africa, as most of you know, is very rich in strategic minerals like titanium, uranium, and so on and so forth. For South Africa to openly come out and say, we're joining BRICS, this is a key strategic country in Africa. And in fact, it's the most powerful country in Africa by far and away. And it has a technological infrastructure that makes it a significant regional power. So this means that we are being signaled that Africa is going to be the next major area of contention between these emerging BRICS nations and the Anglo-American financial oligarchy, the Western oligarchy. Now, this is hugely important for another reason, because in this article it's also telling you that the BRICS nations set up think tanks to strategize their long-term approach and policies. Now, I'm going to suggest, based on the second article that we're going to get to in a moment, that part of the job of these think tanks is going to be to examine the power structure as it currently exists in the West, and in particular, what I have been calling the Anglo-American financial oligarchy, what some of us have been calling the Anglo-American corporate elite, the New World Order, NATO, Gladio, all of this stuff. What they're going to do is they're going to look now at the structure and the corruption that these structures of power have led to and the policies, and they're going to be pointing out in increasing vociferousness the failures of those policies. I mean, after all, just think of the death of Hugo Chavez here for a moment. Years ago, it would have been laughable for any world leader to maintain that he was being killed deliberately by being given cancer. All right. We now know, based on researches into the Kennedy assassination in this country and so on, that in fact cancer was studied as a weapon by American intelligence and used as such. So it's no longer a laughable thing. Chavez was also the one that came out and started talking about the United States and weather warfare and earthquake weapons and so on. Watch for these BRICS nations to expand not only those types of cultural critiques or attacks on the West and on America, but now watch for a much subtler thing to happen. They're going to start pointing out the flaws in the oligarchical system as it is in place now in the West. After all, these are the nations that were to a certain extent victimized by that oligarchical financial system.